time to abandon ship.
Oh no!
Here we go!
Can I persuade you to join us for a drink? It's a tradition. Here, here.
Jar Jar, homie, my main man, quickly. Before the Separatists attack, get into the escape pod.
Hey! This is escape, then we're the pod.
Welcome back to Star Wars Escape Pod. I'm your host, Josh, and we have our co-host, Blake, in the Escape Pod this week for a little chat about a few different things on the Star Wars headlines, and we are keeping it fairly casual this week. We have the release of Beyond Victory, which eventually I think we'll do a sort of more in-depth review with a friend of ours who is actually going to be able to play that game. We have a little bit of news about upcoming novel, an update on Battlefront 2, players, a new audiobook hitting the digital shelves, as well as some little extra things, and a bit of an off-topic chat later about the upcoming Tron movie. Let's get into it.
Another happy landing.
Well, hello there.
Brainless?
Hey, good to be back. I think I missed the first word.
Yeah.
Brainless?
Instead of are you brainless, it's just you brainless.
You brainless? Well, we are back and we have an updated soundboard going forward, so that's kind of exciting. Yeah.
It's Star Wars.
All right, great.
I'm very, very excited for this one.
Age turners, they were not.
Oh man, we're gonna be able to use that a lot in our book reviews.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless they step it up. There's been a lot of mediocre lately.
Yeah. I feel like we could have used that one a lot during our good, the bad, and the ugly with Francis.
Just basically just keep hitting that button on repeat.
What are we gonna be used if they were good? Maybe this one. Maybe if they were ugly, this one.
I felt a great disturbance in the force.
Come on!
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh wait, I know. Of course, use this.
Yeah.
There we go. It's funny. I actually thought that was going to be Lando from Jedi instead of Han.
Right. I mean, this kind of, I guess, adds to the conversation, but you didn't know that there was an official Star Wars app
No, I had no idea.
at all. So,
And it's pretty dated. So when did it come out?
it says it was launched July 7th, 2015. So it's been
It's 10 years.
10 years old. Actually, that
10
makes
years
it
and
the
a few months.
perfect reading why we're talking about it today, everybody. It's 10 years old. Happy anniversary
wow.
to the
Plus
Star
a few
Wars app.
months.
Yeah. You can get a soundboard and a feed of official news, official videos, a selfie tool,
Do
stickers.
they actually still post stuff on here?
They do. So if you click on the
I
official
probably can figure out how to
news,
turn that off.
yeah, if you click on the official news, there's a whole scroll. It's plugged into StarWars.com, but that's where you do that.
And yeah, because it's got a pretty retro design. Actually, I like the green one better. Is that the light side?
Yeah, so if you click on the helmet up top, that button right there can turn on or off your sound effects. And then you can change your theme. You can go dark side, light side, or droid. And that's basically like the skin to your app, I guess. Man, the red one looks pretty sick actually. Dark side looks pretty good. I keep it on green, keep it on light side. Big fan of the green displays.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Kind of like that retro monochrome look.
Right. If you give the app permissions to view your location, it gives you the weather update and tells you what planet it feels like. So
it's gonna be Camino for the majority of the year here.
Yep. It's currently Camino. Yesterday it felt like Endor. But it says ditch the lightsaber, carry an umbrella, and then 12 degrees, and that's Celsius, everybody. And it's just kind of funny. But I think one of the coolest things about the app, other than Soundboard, of course, is that there is this little feature up top in the top right, which says this day in Star Wars. And this is something that has been So one of the better features of StarWars.com, but there's a countdown to Star Wars Celebration 2027. We are currently 538 days, 2 hours, and 23 minutes away from that 50th anniversary. What is that? The golden anniversary of Star Wars, I guess? The 50th? It's golden, right?
Aren't they all good?
Not golden, not good. Golden. I think there's like a golden and a okay, whatever.
What about 50 implies golden? Is that the
it's
official
just,
age to become a golden girl?
It's just like a name for golden anniversary. Yeah, if you look up golden anniversary, it's the 50th anniversary of a significant event. So this will be Star Wars' golden anniversary.
I had no idea.
That's what they nickname a 50th. If anyone's celebrating a 50th anniversary, they call it their golden anniversary. And then above that is This Day in Star Wars, and this is one of my favorite features because it recounts to any day amongst any year in history that something significant within Star Wars happened. And I love that book that I bought, like called Year by Year, Star Wars Year by Year. It's a visual, I guess, recount of everything that sort of major that came out and released over the last 40 something years. Which is great. But this app, it's great. Like today, for example, October 9th, as of today's recording, Jedi Training Academy begins training younglings at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, Florida in 2007. So like you're able to see, you can scroll ahead a day. So
2007.
Yeah. So like back in 2007, October 8th, 2010. So that was yesterday. In 2010, the Star Wars The Clone Wars third season episode called Corruption aired on Cartoon Network for the first time in the US. Or October 7th, 1983, actor Felicity Jones, Jyn Erso, is born, right? October 6th.
Man, this is just like training for Star Wars trivia.
Right. Star Wars opens for the first time in Puerto Rico, and then they have like the poster there. October 5th, Del Rey publishes Vector Prime. That's the episode that Chewbacca dies in. So spoilers, everybody.
You're not going to go through this and make a bunch of questions for the trivia, are you?
No, but I think it's kind of funny that I could, like it's like, wow.
What year did Star Wars open in Puerto Rico?
That's actually a great idea. Maybe I will start doing that.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard.
The answer will be given to you every day. You just have to memorize 365 answers. And, I do wonder if they ever rotate these answers out because there's some days that multiple things happen.
That's what I was just wondering.
So... yeah, I don't really know, but yeah, here let's take a look. Okay, my oh my goodness. Okay, so my birthday, right, a couple years later, on my birthday in 2003, so a while later, Hayden Christensen dons the dark armor of Darth Vader for his first take as the fully transformed Sith Lord on set of Episode 3. So he did that on my birthday.
That's right. Like 2 years after that.
Yeah. Man. Okay, you don't need to share your
post-production is so long back in the day.
Oh my goodness, yeah, 100%. Okay, so September 9th in 1937.
Yeah, that is Bryce's birthday.
Wow. Archie Goodwin, comic legend and writer of over 30 original Marvel Star Wars comics, is born. So Bryce shares the birthday with Archie Goodwin. Anyway, it's cool, right?
It's pretty neat. I do wonder if they've ever updated it, if it's been the same for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, they do update it. The most recent update was from this past week, so they do continue to push out like optimizations and
I meant for the days of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, for the calendar. That is a good question, but I believe there are 365. There's never a day that something isn't on there.
Right.
So like they have the full calendar fleshed out. They just
some people have the lunar calendar. Some people have a solar calendar. Some people have the Roman calendar. We have the Star Wars calendar.
That's right.
Impressive. Most impressive.
All right, so let's transition here. Next thing is Beyond Victory. We've talked about this for a few weeks now, building hype.
Out?
It's finally out.
Have you tried it?
Quest Systems. No, I have not tried it, but we have our friend Dan, who's kind of occasionally been on the show, and he's well, I don't know if he was planning on getting it or not, but I just assumed he was. So I messaged him. I said like, hey, you want to do a full
4, right?
Yeah, he has the latest headset, which is the Quest 3. And it's available for Quest 3 and 3S exclusively. So I messaged him thinking he's all over this,
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I guess I can check it out. And I thought, man, like, wow, Okay, great. Thanks. like I mean,
Yeah,
no obligation
guess
or
so.
anything. I just assumed, like
Because I'm sure if you had the opportunity to be able to run it, you would have bought it like probably the first hour.
oh yeah, dude, like I'd be there. I'd be all over it like day one. Like I'd be, like this is the day that I'm reserving my evening to play this game,
I'm surprised it's not on the Quest 2.
I know. I'm kind of peeved at that. Like I guess it's always a matter of catering to the technology of the now, and these days technology advances so quickly
It's
and
very
changes so
fast.
much, and it's also just the nature of the business. Like they're always inching things forward sometimes, and all of a sudden that extra 2 gigs of RAM is a make it or break it for being able to run this game. Right. And it's like,
because
okay.
it's just opened up for other game producers to use that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't seem like a lot by today's standards, but I guess headsets already have pretty heavy limitations there.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the unfortunate situation there. I know at once upon a time when Meta was still doing the Quest, what's it called again? Before the Quest, it was the Oculus, the Rift.
Oh, right.
So the Oculus Rift, which is Oculus, the company that they bought, when they still operated through the PC, similar to how like third-party headsets could operate through Steam VR. Oculus had their own kind of thing going on, and when Meta turned that into their own store and started selling their own apps on there and stuff, I think Oculus did sell stuff on there as well, but when they started developing for themselves, the Vader Immortal games launched on both. So like you could get them on the Quest, but then you also got the ability to play it through your PC, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And at the time, I didn't have a Quest headset, so I actually found a way to emulate the game through my HTC Vive VR headset, which there was a little software called Revive, and it was able to trick the Oculus software into thinking that I owned an Oculus headset or an Oculus, right?
Yeah. So you spoofed it.
So yeah, basically, yeah, and like the displays weren't optimized, of course, for that software. So like when I played the first 1 or 2 Vader Immortal games, like I played it at a very dim setting. Like it was naturally just darker when I played it, but it was fine. Like I could play through it. But then finally, when I did end up, it was like Quest 2 came out, or he was coming out, and so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna sell my Vive, and I'm just gonna like try something wireless, try something new, because I was very intrigued by the idea of wireless VR headsets, and so that's what I did, and then I was able to play the games natively on the headset, cord free, and I was like, oh man, like this is unreal. Like this takes me back to when you and I did the hyper reality experience in the Disney parks, right?
Before. That was super cool.
Exactly, and it was a sequel to that game. Like the environment and the story and everything is sort of a loose continuation. So I was like, this is sick. And and now we're kind of at another point. Now, a couple of games has launched since then. The Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, the Galaxy's Edge Disney parks sort of based experience. You tried that one too. That was like,
yeah, I had the virtual Runcore wrap.
Yeah, that's right. I wish. But yeah, the High Republic short stories in that, and it was a cool experience, I guess. And then they did the VR pinball Star Wars game, and now finally the Beyond Victory on mixed reality headsets. And there's reviews out there now because the game is launched. But I'm hoping that we get our first hand player kind of coming on and giving their 2 cents on
That'd
it.
be ideal. Maybe we can even go over there and play it.
Yeah, maybe we can have we can go over there, or maybe Dan can come out here, whatever the case. But that'd be cool.
Because I am curious with the fact that it's AR and not VR.
Yeah, I think that's where it sort of misses the mark, in my opinion, just like with doing a pod race game. Because I think a lot of people have thought, what's the best Star Wars VR experience that you could possibly have? And
everyone gets motion sick when in space battles. So
yeah, and that's
what else is there?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I have done that. I have done Star Wars Squadrons. It has a VR mode if you buy it on PC, or I think even the PlayStation version might have the PSVR thing that was there for like a hot minute. But I've played it in VR, and it is vomit inducing.
That's what I've heard.
The moment that you do any kind of slight yaw to the right or the left, it's like, you know, like it's just like makes you sick. And
not like a roll. You mean like a scooting motion?
just like like going side to side. Like,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're like
rolling,
rolling in it to any degree, like it's just like, man, like get me out of this, you know,
right?
like
which is unavoidable any sort of space battle, or
right,
like some sort of like flight
oh
simulator.
man, doing a dogfight in multiplayer like that was it. Like I did like one round and I sucked so bad. And then I also felt sick too, and I was like, "This wasn't worth it."
Do you think people playing that, like if you have the open headset? I don't know if people still do that these days, but back in the day we used to, like Halo 3.
Oh yeah,
We have an open mic headset and just hear people vomiting. Just from like
too much Mountain Dew.
just from like the VR, just
Oh man.
Like, oh, that guy's playing the VR mode.
Yeah. I don't know, but you know, I think when it comes to Star Wars games, are always pushing the boundary. You know, whatever it is, it goes back to like some of the first Star Wars games to come out. Like the Star Wars games have been coming out since the first movie was released, and I feel like whatever the technology was at the time, there was a Star Wars game that was in that generation of gaming, and Star Wars gaming in general tends to hit a certain spot within Star Wars fans where it's like that was their gateway, like that was their entry to Star Wars, that was their introduction to this story or this bigger expanded universe.
Do you remember joysticks?
And oh man, like I'm not a fan of joysticks, but
Man.
I mean, yes, I do remember them. I just
Do
like
they even sell those anymore? I mean, they probably do for flight simulators.
Yeah,
but
you can
they're
still.
they're not common. They used to be.
I
Pretty
mean,
common.
they're not sold with new hardware, no, but like you can.
I recall seeing those on shelves at Walmart.
You can still buy Ataris, like they're like reprints from the official company, and they still sell.
No, I mean like a PC joystick.
Oh man, if you Googled it on Amazon, 100% you'd probably find one. Yeah.
But I remember them being commonplace, I guess is what I'm getting at. So, and I'm pretty sure you can play the old like X-Wing and TIE Fighter games with those.
Yeah, for sure. You know, popular with when 3D games became a thing, I think those started to become a little more popular. But
I had the old steering wheel and the pedals. You put the pedals underneath your
oh yeah.
I know they still sell that for racing games, but I had like the 90s version, so it was pretty jank and playing these really bad Monster Jam games.
Monster
It's
Jam.
not Star Wars, but just retro gaming. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, there's always been a Star Wars game for like most generations of consoles, you know, like handhelds and TV consoles and arcade machines and pretty much the works, you know, and VR is no different. It's a form of gaming, console or otherwise. It's kind of its own thing. Its own almost like the Switch. It's not a handheld. It's not a true handheld that you could pocket. It's not a true console that you can play, you know, graphics.
Right. It's limited.
So it's a little more limited, right? Like
hardware-wise.
Graphics and like intensive games is what I meant to say. And you know, and VR is kind of in this other category as well. It's like, yeah, there's games that are only available on that platform and they are made for that platform and you can only play them if you have, you know, this particular console device, right? So, you know, it's just the way things are. And, you know, if anyone does want to play it, I guess you'll have to go out and get yourself a Quest 3. But yeah.
Well, I guess that's a really long roundabout way of getting to the thing that one would look forward to in VR, you'd think would be a pod racing game.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, basically like when I imagine a pod racing game, I imagined it more like you're in the cockpit of the pod racer and you're going left and right. And there's maybe a few little bumps in the road. Yeah. But that's mostly the idea, right?
Yeah. Kind of like the
arcade style pod racing.
Yeah. The arcade pod racer they had back in
the one that we were all wanting to get in. And
yeah,
for sure. And, you know, they did it like a top down arcade style holographic looking race game. And it's kind of hard to describe unless you watch the videos for it, but there's like full cut scenes, I guess, where you're then put into the scene, into the world, and all of a sudden your world around you transforms into the space. And then there's other sections of it which are just characters standing in your living room, and it uses your living room as the backdrop for talking with these characters.
That's where they lose me.
And that's kind of weird, right? Like that, I don't know.
It kills the immersion.
I get that they want to try this hardware, but at the same time, it's like for a Star Wars experience, it doesn't really make any sense. You know, I would much rather be fully immersed in a Star Wars experience.
Technically, now it could make sense. It's just it would have to take place on Skeleton Crew planet.
Oh yeah. At Aden.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one.
I mean, It's canon.
Qualifications for playing this game: you must live in a town that was constructed during the 1950s.
But with a kind of like futuristic style.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. That's all I wanted to talk about when it comes to Beyond Victory. But yeah, we're looking forward to maybe trying that at some point, and we'll get Dan on board, and he's always kind of the guy, our friend that we go to for VR specifically. I've spoken with Dan, I think, on every single previous Star Wars VR experience that has come out since we've had this podcast up and running.
Oh, man.
So
I actually didn't hear his opinion on the Vader games.
I think you know what? I think either he did come on for the third one of those, or maybe we got his opinion kind of later when he did either the VR pinball or the Galaxy's Edge one. Mm-hmm. But he has talked about it before. But I think if I'll go back and take a look, Reed was our main guest on those three because he was actually over at the house one time when I was playing the first one. I was like, hey, do you want to be a guest on the podcast, play through this thing? So I sat there on my couch and he played for like 45 minutes. And then we did the chat. And so we did that like 3 times. He may have joined us at some point for one of those 3, but yeah, maybe we'll have to do a revisit of those.
Might be worth it.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
They were cool. But yeah, let's transition gears here and get into the next little thing here. You just blasted that guy away.
We better run for it.
All right, so
They're coming for us.
Oh man, let's get going. So Lucasfilm Publishing, a new Star Wars Legacy novel revealed before Lucasfilm Publishing panel at the New York Comic-Con. Most recently, New York Comic-Con took place, and I guess not a crazy amount of news came out of that, but a new novel titled Star Wars Legacy, which is being published from Random House Worlds. That's the canon staple Del Rey novels that have been coming out, maybe once or twice a year for the last while. Is going to be hitting shelves July 28th, 2026. And there was
still a year away.
Yeah, and there was no cover, nothing. Just the text. Just the title of the book and speculation, I guess.
What was the title?
Star Wars Legacy.
Star Wars titles are so generic.
Ooh.
You can't get anything from that.
Yeah, you can't really get anything from that. But Star Wars Legacy, I guess there was a Legacy of the Force series back in the day with the expanded universe, or was it Legacy of the Jedi? I think
probably both.
There was probably both.
Legacy of the Skywalkers.
Yeah. There was Marvel. Also another thing is Marvel is re-releasing Legacy inside a omnibus collection because of course there was also the Marvel Star Wars Legacy series, and that's coming out next May. That was the Darth Talon.
Oh right.
Like the Cade Skywalker.
I mean, maybe it's related to that because
maybe
wasn't there like a Darth Maul-y Twi'lek somewhere?
Yeah, and also Darth Maul Shadowlord is coming out next year in
I was in the trailer for that, wasn't
May, and Darth Talon is speculated to be like a kid in that
that's
trailer or something, right? So that's kind of neat. And so maybe it's a novel that'll like bridge the gap between the Clone Wars and the beginning of the Darth Maul animated show, if there is some kind of gap in there.
Because we kind of talked, you and I, outside the podcast at one point, talking about how there's like this weird window now of Darth Maul where there's a number of years post, before Rebels, but after the Solo movie, and then another chunk after the Clone Wars animated series, and then the comics from the extended storyline from the Clone Wars 3D series up to when we meet him in that Solo one-off cameo.
Yeah,
it's like we have like a point in the middle, and then the 2 giant unknowns.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a giant space between. Yeah, there's like almost a 10-year gap between the end of Clone Wars and his appearance in Solo, and then another 4-ish years or 5.
That's actually less than I would have thought.
Before he shows up in Rebels.
So he changes a lot between Solo and then being called Old Master.
Yeah, yeah, he
In
does.
like 4-year window.
Yeah. So a lot happened to him. In those 4 years, and then in those 10 years as well. I mean, this is a character that's a prominent villain of the first movie, of episode 1, and for him to be floating around all that time and not to have a story about him is weird, and knowing that he exists in this space and in this time, and so. I have heard the opinion,
well, especially considering how fleshed out a lot of it is nowadays.
For sure, and I have heard the opinion of almost kind of exhaustion that we are getting a show that takes place about Maul, but at the same time, as long as it's done well and it's done in a savoring way that still honors the character and still feels like the character, because some of those Clone Wars episodes with Maul were some of the best. That I don't see any
way deeper. He was a very shallow bad guy in Phantom Menace.
For sure, I don't see why not, I don't see why we shouldn't be excited about it.
If he's the main character, though, he's probably not going to be that bad of a guy. Like, he's probably going to be more of an anti-hero, I would think.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine any kind of Star Wars story where the main character is the villain, because that's never happened before.
People want there to be a Empire-based show like that, and they just refuse to do it. Every time it looks like they're going to do it, they always turn into rebels.
Yeah, Darian said that at one point. It's like I just want there to be a Star Wars story where the bad guys stay the bad guys and like don't become the good guys, right? Like, and I think in a few ways I can definitely share that opinion, because I think we've discussed the episode 9 alternative scripts. We did a series of 3 episodes in a row that talked about the various different possibilities that could have happened with that movie, and one of those was the Colin Trevorrow script, and that was the director of Jurassic World Dominion, and he's done a lot of things, and that script ended up not getting used.
Is that the one where we found out that Rey was an android the whole time?
No. No, it's not. But yeah, like in that script, Kylo Ren really pushed himself to the limits, and he like really committed himself to the dark side and never had a redemption story.
He just kept doubling down, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like that was in some way I almost had like a greater appreciation for that character, knowing that that's where his story was going, because
it's less of a repeat of Darth Vader.
It's first off, yeah, it's less of a repeat of Darth Vader, but then secondly, I think there is something almost like depressingly relatable about that. Like some people are just out to, in some subconscious way, destroy themselves. And like I felt like that was a really powerful story to be told. Especially within this fictional world. And
I guess that would be a difference between him and Palpatine, who just likes being evil for the sake of being evil.
Yeah, and I think as someone who idolizes Vader to the point of having a pedestal and a helmet and like a shrine, basically, like it's like that's some intense stuff, and like I can imagine somebody like that who goes as far as he does and commits the acts he does in pushing himself further and not redeeming himself. Like I can see that. I can see that being a thing for the character, especially after 2 films kind of committed to that story, and especially Last Jedi being how it ended with, it's like, oh, maybe he's not such a bad guy, and maybe he's just like this because of the things that have happened to him, and we got some understanding for why he is the way he is. And then you get to the point of like, okay, he's out to kill the Last Jedi, he's out to destroy the Resistance. He might have some respect for Rey, but it doesn't look like he's getting better. It doesn't look like he's going to redeem himself for anytime soon, right? And then we got a time jump of a year, and then all of a sudden he's like in that movie, in the final movie, he has the redeeming, beautiful moment, by the way. And I loved how they brought Harrison back, but I also thought to myself, man, it would have also been really cool to have seen the other outcome of him just kind of committing to that there's some people that just won't see the good in things, and maybe he's one of those people. Like maybe he didn't want to see or ignored the fact that his grandfather was redeemed in the end, right? Like maybe he just wanted to keep going,
right?
And I loved that about him. I was like, man, this is just a relatable guy.
The issue you run into is supposed to be a family friendly franchise.
Yeah, but
This isn't Game of Thrones.
I don't think he wasn't gonna win. It's just like, you know, Rey would have ultimately had to have beat him.
Yeah.
But I think it also kind of played up on that Legends story of Jason and Jaina. And even though Ben Solo and Rey are not related, like there was still this. Even the J.J. Abrams script did this whole thing with the dyad, and they had this dynamic link, you know, between the two of them. And
Man, for so long, I thought we were gonna find out that they were related.
Right?
For so long.
But yeah, like I think because of all that, I think there was still this mirrored parallel between how Jaina had to ultimately kill her brother.
Yeah.
In the end, because he was not going to be redeemed. You know, he committed to that role and he took it to the grave. And I think like there was something very moving about that possibly being in a Star Wars movie. You know, and that's what makes Revenge of the Sith one of my favorite movies. Is like the good guys don't win, you know, necessarily, right? There's hope at the end, but it's like it's ultimately
there's a lot of tragedy and loss.
It's ultimately a very tragic story, and I'm a big fan of that kind of storytelling. But yeah, I think there would have been something very I don't know, almost like respectable about him not being redeemed.
Right. I can see where you're coming from.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's cool. Sorry, we went on like a kind of a tangent there. Where were we? Oh, legacy novel. Right.
That's right.
Okay, speaking of new novels, I'm adjusting my volume here. Speaking of new novels, there's a new Star Wars audiobook coming out called, I think we talked about this already. It's called The Jaws of Jakku.
Okay.
Have you ever been curious about...
Is it about a sand shark?
What was Rey up to between episode 8 and 9? Have you ever wondered kind of...
Is she hunting sand sharks?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I've read the books that take place...
technically it'd be crate dragons, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it's Jakku, so I don't know if crate dragons are Jakku as well, but yeah, I don't know. There is a few books that go between episode 8 and 9, which they released before episode 9 came out. Not very many. There was it was called something Resistance. Man, I wish I remembered the title of it. Obviously, it was very mid as far as the book goes. I read it.
Okay.
But this was before we even did the podcast, because we did the...
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know if I would have read it then.
We started up this podcast like 4 months before episode 9.
Okay.
So, and this book came out a couple of months earlier than the movie. And I think it was called Resistance Reborn, I think. And
I don't think I read that.
It sort of bridged the gap between episode 8 and 9, at least with Poe Dameron, and I think Finn was in the book. And it sort of smoothed the gap a little bit, but not a crazy amount. And then there were some other little smaller junior novels which came out. And this audiobook, which is available on Audible, is an Audible exclusive. And I think you can only listen to it with a subscription. So like as long as you've like subscribed for a month to get a credit, this is like free, but you
get some of the freebies. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one of those like
they're short, only like a couple hours or something.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not the first Star Wars one to come out. There was also a High Republic one that came out a while ago. Cool. I think there's actually like 3 or 4 of these things now, but this is the latest to join that roster. And I think this is written by Cavan Scott, who is one of the...
he wrote some High Republic books.
Yeah. He wrote some High Republic books. One of the authors known for that project. And they tease on ScreenRant.com that Jakku is more important to Star Wars than you think. And so, you know, and again, this is all like post episode 8. So there's some additional lore that's been constructed, seeing as there's been a lot of time now since between those two movies. I think, some authors have had the chance to go and I guess bridge the gap a little bit more. And so there's some kind of more important critical things, I guess, in the plot line that might actually help between those movies. So
it definitely help. I feel like there wasn't a big time gap between 8 and 9 though.
There's only a year.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
Yeah. So not a lot can happen. But then again, the whole ongoing Star Wars Marvel series that they did for like 40 something issues or more at this point, you know, that's also in like a very small time frame.
Is that the one between 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that went on for a long time.
So, I mean,
it's only supposed to be a few years, right?
Yeah. And
then there's novels too.
1 year, like between 4 and 5, it's like, what is it, 1 year or 2 or something? I don't know. The whole original trilogy is only like 5 years worth of time.
Right.
So it's not evenly distributed in terms of that time, but it's just, it's worth noting. Anyways,
Just trying to think how you fit that entire like 40 or 50 episode like comic series and then multiple novels.
Yeah.
All within this very tiny time span.
Right.
Luke is a very busy guy.
He certainly is. Yeah.
He was just trying to. This is like the one thing that really stands out for me for in that timeline is that novel where he's like first trying to use the Force. Like Heart of the Jedi, I think.
Yeah, I have it down there. Heir to the Jedi.
Yeah, and I just remember him trying to move his bowl of noodles.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing about that book that not a lot of people know is that it was being written before the Disney acquisition, and it actually came out during the canon Disney period of time, but it had to be edited a little bit and changed and altered, I think, to fit whatever story they were trying to tell within the new canon, because originally it was not supposed to be a canon book.
Did they ever say were they altered?
Well, probably lore-related factual statements inside the book that reference things that happened in the expanded universe. Because I mean, you like me have read a lot of expanded universe material, and there's a lot of those books that do reference things, characters, places from all of this other expanded universe lore, right? Like all these books, despite there being a current canon today that is allegedly watched, sort of supervised and kept relatively, canonized to each other, that's still sort of what happened back in the old EU. It was maybe just slightly less, what'd you call it? Like less permanent, I guess. Like,
yeah, it was always this kind of like stacking pile of stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever like the most recent thing to come out was what was considered accurate.
Right. Yeah. The most recent thing always tended to override whatever was previous, and now it was just a new layer to the cake.
The old Star Wars canon was just a whole bunch of whiteout, really.
Yeah, sort of. It's like, you get stories like Force Unleashed coming out. I was like, wow, okay,
Man, yeah.
So this fits in somewhere, and you're just kind of compressing, right?
Yeah, it basically was like, George, want to tell a story? Like, I don't know. And then you gave him the check. He's like, all right.
Yeah.
That's
all right. That's for the fans.
You add a couple more zeros.
But yeah, I mean, so I think when they first started doing the canon books, they were really nervous because, and this is just my speculation, but doing that initial wave of Star Wars books back in the day, that was like A New Dawn. That was the first one to come out. And then there was Heir to the Jedi.
It feels recent, but so long ago.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. Yeah. And then there was Rogue One, the Rogue One book, Catalyst. Mm-hmm. That one was pretty great. That one was one of the later Wave 1-ish books. There was Tarkin and Lords of the Sith.
Right, Tarkin.
Yeah, Lords of the Sith.
I like that Tarkin book.
The first Thrawn book in the canon. So not like the one by Timothy Zahn, but the first Thrawn book still.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I think it was like, it was either, I forget the year that Thrawn book came out, but it was, it had to do with him coming back in Rebels anyway.
Zahn did do Tarkin. I thought so.
Yeah. And there's, we have the Barnes & Noble exclusive black cover edition of that one that we got signed, but
all right.
But it was, it was like a lot of those initial books, and then of course the Aftermath trilogy, which then came out, the Chuck Wendig Aftermath trilogy.
I've never talked about this on the podcast. When we got those books signed, I remember my plan was to bring the hardcover book of the original Zahn trilogy for the original Thrawn trilogy.
Try and put the cover of the new book on it and then get the old one signed? No,
because he was just signing anything, right?
No, he was signing...
let me finish the story, because he wasn't.
Oh, okay. All right.
I forgot to bring it. I forgot to pack it. And so we bought the new books, and I was in line to get that signed, because I just like Timothy Zahn, so I wanted something signed. And there was a girl in front of me, and she had the hardcover book I wanted to bring. And she put it down and get it signed, and he was like, a real fan. I was like, and that is just
Spoiled.
Like burned into my memory.
Oh, man.
It was exactly what I was going to do. I'm like, that could have been me.
Geez, that sucks. Yeah, so that was back at, that was Star Wars Celebration 8 years ago in 2017 in Orlando. And there was a convention exclusive copy of the book that we were hoping to get, but we missed those ones.
Oh, shoot.
So the ones that we ended up having to get were the massive pile of the Barnes and Noble's editions.
Just a regular one, right?
Basically it's basically the regular one. It doesn't have any fancy blue pages or anything, but the cover is the same, other than the fact that it's got the black background instead of a white background. That was like, it was just, they flipped.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they flipped the contrast on it, but the regular version has an all white background. So we did kind of get a sort of a half step up the for the signed copies, but yeah, we missed out on the exclusive convention. Yeah. But at least we scored
Stuff
those
goes
action figures.
fast, man.
It does, yeah. I mean, we got to be ready. We got to be got to bring the full stop at that next convention. 50th anniversary only happens once, man.
That's true.
We got to bring the tent and everything.
People were tenting in the gym.
I think that was when they did the whole first come first serve for the wristbands.
Yeah.
And now it's a lottery
raffle,
system,
right?
and so now you just got to cross your fingers, and
I think don't we try
much
to
better.
Give everybody at least one, but you pretty much only get one.
You pretty much get access to one or two of the bigger ones, and you're just hoping that you get into the ones that you want to get into.
Right.
So it's kind of a more fair way of doing it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, funny story though. But yeah, man, that sucks that you didn't bring that book.
I know, I was so upset.
And now he's written 6 Tron books within the Disney canon. So
I hate to say it, but I still like the original better.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of people would agree. And so next time we're at a convention, maybe you'll remember to bring it just in case he is there.
You'll have to. And then afterwards, we went to the Disney parks, and I saw him there, and he had an Imperial officer hat on. We made eye contact and nodded at each other.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, man. I was like, I think that was Timothy's on, and you're like, just a big crowd. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know why he was wearing a Imperial officer hat. So random.
That's just what he's rocking these days.
Yeah, he just wears that every day. It's just his regular hat.
All right. Well, let's move on here.
You may fire when ready.
All right, so we're firing out with this Battlefront 2 news. Online player count is currently down to about 1,942 in a 24-hour peak. And this comes off the back of the hype that we saw earlier this year, back in June.
Big drop.
Yeah, back in June, there was a big resurgence of people. I guess technically it started in May, and then it kind of escalated into June.
I wonder what snowballed it.
It reached a peak of 35 and a little more 1,000 players online all at the same time. What snowballed it was a big, so one thing was Andor came out, Andor season 2. But I think it was just a lot of people all at the same time being like, we want a Star Wars shooter again. And then they'd all just started playing the most recent one that came out again,
Well, I do wonder if part of it was people were maybe playing it on Twitch or something, and other people are seeing it and they're like, oh man.
For sure. Yeah, I think that certainly helped. The movement tends to snowball, So whoever was the first influential out there to kind of get the ball rolling, there may have been a couple kind of simultaneously, depending on how people are influenced in what to play, subconsciously. And then it just kind of kept going, and there's a whole generation of people that didn't play this game when it first came out that now have exposure to this game. They start playing it, so I think that's why we're seeing numbers kind of teeter out to a little bit more of a realistic average. But the good news is it's still fairly consistent, I guess.
Is there not people for the big games, or is that
the hype is over, sadly?
For sure, yeah.
But at least if you jump on right now, you'll probably find a match. You know what I mean? That part's nice.
The party's over.
Yeah, the party is sadly over.
This app cuts off the first word for some reason.
That kind of does. Party's over.
So just gonna say there.
Oh there.
Oh there.
I wonder if it's just a delay in the cable or something like that.
I feel like I could still do the whole word.
I don't know. If I play, it's me.
Hey, it's me.
Yeah,
that one's fine.
Hello there.
That one's fine too. I don't know. Maybe just some of them. Anyway,
strange. Well, that's Battlefront 2.
Are you still playing it?
No.
Recently?
I mean, I've got other things I'm playing now,
you're
right?
part of the problem.
I mean, well, I don't I wouldn't say that. I would love a Battlefront 3. Like, I mean, if they made a Battlefront 3, like I'd be all for it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Was also that we talked about last week. There's the purchase,
right? Yeah, the purchase of EA. I don't think that's
puts a
not
lot-
necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like maybe that's a good thing because like I mean, how great was your idea of EA before the buyout?
Well, they made Jedi Survivor.
Right. So like I mean like I don't think anyone had like the highest opinion of EA in general for the last little while. Like because like that was the biggest complaint was they got an exclusive license.
Yeah.
And it you know, it ticked a lot of people off because it was like, okay, where's the games? You know, like it was like 4 years and all of a sudden
To be
it's
honest,
like
I think that
Battlefront.
was the least amount of Star Wars games to come out
ever. Yeah. Like that period of time.
Yeah.
Dude, dark times, man.
Man, it was crazy. There was way more when George was at the helm.
It was
and there was
almost
nothing
like-
coming out.
It was almost like they tried to starve fans of Star Wars games. And
So they
then they
could
were
put
like,
it in loot
let's
boxes."
just launch ours and then launch it with loot boxes. So we get like the most amount of exposure, you know? Wow. Like, yeah, don't be a Jabba. But like, I mean, in my opinion, that's a little, you know, it's like being a little, yeah. Don't be a Hut.
There's a plan.
Don't be a scum and villainy about it.
Not so gangstas.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, whatever comes about the Star Wars license with EA, because they still have the ability to make Star Wars games. It's just now it's not exclusive, which is why we've had games from Oculus on VR. We've had Outlaws by Ubisoft.
When did that license get pulled in?
A couple of years ago.
Opened?
A couple of years ago, it was because the initial agreement for the exclusivity, I think, was like between 5 and 7 years or something like that, which is a long time. And in that time, they only launched like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, it wasn't very many.
It was Battlefront 2, Star
Not a
Wars
big-
Squadrons, and then Jedi Fallen Order.
And then-
that was it.
Survivor came out after the license change.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also
There's a lot of canceled games though.
they did a mobile game as well, 2, or maybe 1.
Wait, what
The-
about Lego Star Wars?
The one, well, that's where things get kind of weird. I think Lego technically is its own license. Like Lego has its own license with Star Wars, like with Lucasfilm.
That they've had since like the 90s.
Yeah, and I think it involves also making video games.
Smart.
Yeah, I
Makes
think.
sense because those games have been around since like 2003 or something.
Yeah, like don't quote me on it, but yeah, because they did a Force Awakens Lego game, which everyone always forgets
Yeah.
about because it was possibly
yeah.
one of the worst. Possibly, I never actually
Did you
played
ever
it.
play Lego Island 2?
No, but yeah, I think it was also the only Star Wars movie to get an exclusive Lego game. But I mean, the Force Awakens, though, when it came out, like I guess some people might not remember because maybe they're not old enough to know, or like maybe people forget. But the Force Awakens was an event in the way that, not in the same way that the Phantom Menace was an event, but it was similar. I think
How not?
well, it's a different period of time. I mean, like the call.
I guess I mean the hype factor. Was it different?
Well, it's different because Star Wars was still very much alive when Force Awakens was coming out. Like we had Clone Wars still coming out right up until Force Awakens.
Okay,
Like the
I see what you're
fandom
saying.
had not
Yeah.
been. Pop culture was already revolutionized after the prequels. Like it was already different.
Yeah.
So it wasn't quite the same, but it was still.
There wasn't like a huge drought and then
Right.
a handful of books and then the next movie.
Right. And also the fact that, like, okay, the series was done, like it was complete, like with the Circle was complete. George had finished his movies, you know, and but after episode 6 and the wait for episode 1, because people knew that it was only 4, 5,
That's
and 6.
true, actually. Yeah.
That was also something that played into that as well, which was like, when is he going to finish this series?
Right.
You know, people waited like a long time for those movies to come out. So yeah, the hype was different. Like it was a different, not quite as up there, but
Foretold it was.
yeah. But it's still to the same degree of like Force Awakens had a lot of merch, like a lot
Well,
of
so did
stuff,
Phantom
you know?
Menace.
Yeah, like so much so to the point where
But
you
I guess-
still find new Phantom Menace stuff on like discount racks and like older toy shops and stuff like that.
Right.
Like there's so much stuff, man.
Man, I wonder if that was similar because I know the story, like the arc, the story arc of Phantom Menace and Force Awakens. I feel like we're pretty similar. Like all this build up hype, and then afterwards, people start to get kind of grumbly about it.
Yeah.
I wonder with the massive push of toys for Phantom Menace if they also had the same issues Force Awakens of what do they call them, like shelf warmers or something.
Shelf warmers.
Yeah, something like that.
I love that.
Just like usually they're like more the obscure characters, or they just
Yeah.
like made too many toys.
Yeah, they're all Wheezies. You know Wheezy from Toy Story?
No.
He's the little penguin, the squeaky penguin that sits up on top of the shelf in the dusty shelf of the forgotten toys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like that. Left to be forgotten on the top rack.
How many Watto toys do you think were just left on the shelf after Phantom Menace?
Oh man, probably. You know, like I think when it comes to a character like Watto, like I don't know if he was gonna be left on the shelf. I think it was characters like I don't know, like Captain Typho or something. You know,
right,
like
yeah. All right.
or like
oh man,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other like side characters from Phantom Menace that was like
Captain Tacos.
They did everybody. It's Captain Tacos. they did like all those other Jedi that were just kind of like in the background, you know, in the council perhaps, and people know them more now. But like back then, it was like, who's that?
Right,
you know,
they were
like,
just there for that one scene.
Right. So like, but yeah, they had a like. Pretty sure you can get like a Phantom Menace even peel.
There's probably a lot of battle droids left over because I probably made way too many of those.
Oh yeah, like maybe like I don't know.
Oh man, so with the Trade Federation, what's the name of the sidekick? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, one of the Gunray people.
Yeah, there's New Gunray, and then what's the?
Oh yeah, I forget the name of that other guy. Yeah. Yeah, something like that, or like a pit droid maybe.
Okay, just like random pod racers.
Yeah, maybe a random pod racer, or like I don't know, like what the heck, right? Like there was so many. Here, what's his name?
Hopefully it wasn't
Rick Oley.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like who's buying a Rick Oley? You know what I mean? Like are you?
It's probably worth a lot of money now because
like,
nobody bought them.
Like what kid wants the Rick Oley? Like,
oh wow, we got a Rick Oley.
Yeah. See, I know, right? Like, and like, I don't want to be that guy that's like throwing shade at like characters like Rick Oley or anything like that. But
that's
I
the
mean,
thing
like,
that's great about Star Wars, though, is you get these like super random characters. Like obviously, if you only get one or two, you want the big names, right? But if you have a lot of them, it's fun to be able to set stuff up because you have
right,
like, a full cast.
And you know, other than like the kids who are out there asking for every single thing imaginable, I think it's definitely the adults who are buying the Rick Oleys.
Right.
You know, like
they want the collection.
They want the collection, or they want, you know, that guy. Like it's like I don't know. I don't know.
Gotta grab him.
What 7-year-old who is probably in love with Star Wars even knows Rick Oley's name? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
yeah, they're after kits.
And they made an action figure for him. Like that blows me away because I mean, as a Star Wars fan, we should be in my head. I know I'm used to it now. Like I know that this is a thing. But like, if you just take yourself out of that mindset for just half a second, what movie at all makes any kind of toy for a character that showed up for like one sequence of events?
Right.
Like it's not worth the money.
That's where Quinlan Vos came from too, right?
Design and manufacturer and like and
just
Quinlan
walked
Vos
by camera once and that was it.
Right. Exactly. And
he just looked cool. He had this like tattooed yellow stripe.
Yeah. And like
make him.
It blows me away, to be honest. Like it's so unique. It doesn't happen like with any other movie. You know, like what other movie can you say? Like
I feel like it all came down to George made his money on the back end for the first movie. So he just
it's like, George, we need more action
If you can't
figures.
make it, let's put it out there.
Yeah, it's like if he wants to make his money back on the toys, you know, somebody's clearly talking to George going like, hey George, look, you only have like, you know, 3 main characters and, you know, Yoda's pretty cool. I mean, we can throw Sam.
Before that, this is A New Hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, New Hope. I guess New Hope, like the original action figure lineup for A New Hope wasn't even that big.
Was it not? No, was it? I guess it was it Empire they did the mass.
So the original Kenner action figure lineup was, I want to say like 6 characters. We had a Tusken Raider,
like a
C-3PO, Han, Chewie,
or something, right?
Luke, Leia, R2-D2, Stormtrooper, Ben Kenobi, and Darth Vader. That was it. Like that's the original lineup, right?
So
like
when
basically,
did the big push show up? Was that Empire?
I think that probably was Empire. Like, you know, you had the original like Boba Fett with the non-firing rocket, which sells for like millions of dollars now.
That was before the movie, I think.
Right?
Yeah, you could order that one via the magazine.
Yeah. The original Empire. Okay, so this is when they started doing like the cool card backs and stuff.
Yeah.
But they also did the same things. They had the Death Star, like Trooper.
Okay, that's
Tusken Raider. They had a Jawa. Oh, that's right. They did a Jawa. They had Ponda Baba. They went back and they did some more side characters for A New Hope when Empire came out. So that was when I think.
That's why I'm getting mixed up with that.
That was when I think they started doing like more, branching out, I guess. But also, Star Wars was re-released in the theater, that same year, right? Or the previous year or something. They did a whole campaign of relaunched it again. So that's also something to keep in mind was like the Toys for Empire also reflected the last movie that came out only because it was the only other one, but they kind of recapitalized on it, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's, I think, what started the trend. It's like, okay, now all of a sudden you can buy that rando that hit the button to blow up Alderaan, And it's like, now kids know who that is because I guess like the hype at the time was pretty significant.
That makes more sense because then they like recognize it and then.
Yeah, for sure. And especially if you do have like the play set, that's like, okay, I got the Death Star play set, and it has like a little computer terminal where you can put that guy,
Right.
But man, like nobody, like who's buying the Rick Oley? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I can't get around it. But yeah, I mean, not that he's a bad character. Yeah. It's just he's such a random character to have an action figure.
Because that's where you get characters like Pruneface. That was Jedi.
Oh yeah, Pruneface. Yeah, that was a real action figure.
It was, yeah.
I love that robot chicken Pruneface, man. Like Pruneface.
I know, it's the best.
Pruneface was like just legendary Pruneface, and like the fact that they actually called him Pruneface,
I know,
I think was like, man, that should be the most valuable Kenner action figure. Like, how is this one not selling for millions?
Just because of the name.
Mint in box Pruneface.
Before Ponda Baba had before he was named, and everyone just called him Buttface. Do you think?
Buttface, yeah.
Do you think that's why they named this guy Pruneface?
Okay, so his actual name is Ori Marco.
Okay.
Pruneface in brackets. But they printed that on the card.
They actually printed it?
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean the other one have in brackets Buttface? Squid Head?
I guess so. Oh my gosh.
Remember Squid Head?
It's $160 on Amazon. Oh my god, dude! Like
that's not the original though. That's
no, this has got to. This has to be. No, it's not the Black Series, but it has.
But they
did
a card back retro. I think
it has to be a reprint. Okay, that's definitely worth looking into because, like, man, I want to mount one of these on the wall.
Oh man,
like.
Just like mail one to Bryce or something.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, he's had a few surprises in the mail, hasn't he? All right, so let's let's shift gears here to the last thing on the menu, or one of the last things on the menu. Drew Struzan, artist of the original Star Wars posters, has there's a company out there, geektyrant.com wrote about this. The original 3 posters are being re-released in a cool limited edition design, and they are being printed at a place called bottleneckgallery.com. So this is where you can get the posters, I guess, for a limited time only. The prints drop at noon Eastern Standard Time on October 8th. So that was yesterday. And hopefully they're not sold out already. But they have these prints here. So you'll recognize the artwork from some of the VHSs.
Oh, yeah, I remember those. Yep.
Yeah. So they've changed
I guess from the original box set.
They've kind of unified the text underneath to be a little more like modern, but also keeping the retro style, right? And then they also have textless versions here, which just, they kind of look weird because you're so used to seeing the text down there. But the more you look at it, the more it kind of just sinks in as...
I think those were the posters for the 90s.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
So those posters are being sold in I guess highest possible grade print and quality paper, I assume is what they're being printed on. But yeah, and then they also have a brushstroke variant edition, which has sort of this kind of rough edge look, around the frame.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. So it's like forced to make it look vintage. Is that
yeah. Yeah.
Sitting in someone's attic.
So they're not cheap. They're like around $260. The edition of these variant editions without the titles are it's just like $100 to $290 for the set
USD.
Yeah, and then the first main edition with the logo, like the full like text and everything, that's also like $240 to $5 for the set.
These are they just poster paper?
I think so. so. I don't believe that they would print these on metal or anything like that,
Or canvas or something.
yeah, I don't think so. There's other Star Wars prints on this website, by the way, bottleneckgallery.com, but you can buy some posters that are, Marvel comic covers, and there's some that are like kind of lenticular, like 3D style. They're pretty cool, but yeah, man, it's pretty nice. And the textless art version, $290 for the set, sold out.
Oh wow, already. So even if you're listening and you're excited, sorry.
Yep. And the text version sold out, $245.
What is left?
Individual posters, Return of the Jedi sold out, and
We probably should have mentioned this last week.
well, I didn't know about it until today. The A New Hope poster sold out, and that probably also means Empire is sold out. So it's sold out, everybody.
You're welcome. I'm
You
glad
are
that we
welcome to
brought
the
this
news.
up.
Oh my goodness, yeah. To stay on top of the latest Star Wars news. Come here. Come here for your gag.
We're a little late.
Anyway, but very cool stuff on this website. There is a ton of cool stuff. And yeah, just so that my failure is complete, the Empire Strikes Back poster is also sold out.
So all of them,
Yeah.
every single one.
Every single one. Every single one of them. And not just the text, but the textless.
Is that in here?
And the rough edges, too. I bought all of them.
Can you imagine they're just all Hayden? Hayden just bought
Every single one of them.
Yeah, everything they had.
Oh, man. All right, well, okay, we've had our laugh. All right, final thing on the menu. We got to wrap things up here, but it's a big week for Disney, mother company of Disney now, of Star Wars nowadays. And it's not the only science fiction fantasy series that they produce. Another big one that was once upon a time trying to not compete, but I guess gain the audience of Star Wars was most likely Tron, which was released back in July 9th of 1982, only a year before Return of the Jedi came out, right? So I'm not, just so I don't sound like a complete idiot.
Double check.
Just gonna like quickly look that out, yeah. But yeah, it's only a year prior. So that came out, between Empire and Episode 6, and the film was only a moderate success back in the day. And this was a Disney produced film.
I heard they got kicked out of
The Oscars.
the Oscars.
Yeah. So
Because people complained that it was just the whole movie was computer graphics.
well, yeah. So at the time, this received mixed reviews from critics who praised its groundbreaking visuals and acting, but criticized its storyline as being incoherent. Tron received nominations for Best Costume Design, Best Sound at the 55th Academy Awards. It was, however, disqualified from Best Visual Effects category because at the time, the Academy felt that using computer animation was cheating.
Yeah.
Tron spawned...
Oh, how times have changed.
Oh my goodness, have they? Tron spawned multiple video games, including an arcade tie-in released shortly after the film. And as it became a cult film, a multimedia franchise, including comic books, a sequel titled Tron Legacy, directed by Joseph Kosinski, was released in 2010, with Jeff Bridges and Box Leitner reprising their roles and Leesberger acting as producer. He was the guy who did the first Tron movie. A commercial success.
Can you believe that this was on par for best costume next to Star Wars?
I know, isn't that crazy?
That's clearly a hockey helmet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Must have been a dry year.
Yeah, I remember Tron Legacy not having the most fantastic box office back in the day, but allegedly this piece of text that I grabbed off the internet says it was a commercial success. So whatever that means.
Well, that's
it was
interesting because they never made a sequel
Right.
off of it because it
wasn't a flop, but it was also like kind of a mid box office.
Maybe it's similar to Solo, or it was too expensive to make.
The reviews were also very mid. Like it was like
Right.
it's a movie that's held in high regard by the fans, but the critics have never liked Tron ever. Like
Right.
never ever.
Hopefully that changes.
Only slightly. It was followed by the Disney XD animated series called Tron Uprising in 2012. Also has its own dedicated following. People love Tron Uprising, those who have watched it. Set between the two films. So it kind of bridged the gap between the first and the second movie. And finally, a third installment now called Tron Ares, is scheduled to be released as of October 10th officially, but it came out tonight.
Oh, wow.
And because movies always tend to come out on Thursday,
Right. I keep sneaking it a day ahead. Pretty soon it'll be Wednesdays.
Yeah, and I just thought it was worth talking about because it's kind of in this space of people who are interested in Star Wars might actually really be interested in Tron. And
I'm sure there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, and like
both.
the first, I thought it was really interesting. The first one did come out kind of in this Star Wars hype sort of territory. Like, no doubt that when Star Wars was being done, Disney knew like, hey, we gotta like try and come up with something that gets that kind of pop culture audience,
right?
Into
sci-fi is really big right now.
Yeah, or it's just something that's like, I don't know, franchisable and exciting and like.
Man, they've been trying to franchise Tron since the 80s.
Right. Yeah. And like, I feel like Tron Legacy was like, that was, they hit the mark, with that movie. They had Daft Punk do the soundtrack.
That was awesome. And to be honest, the art design looks awesome. And I think that's why they kind of stuck to that going forward. Yeah, for sure. And it's got such a unique look, Tron. Like there's no other movie that looks like Tron. Right. And Joseph Kosinski, who did Tron Legacy, the sequel, he is known for directing incredible movies. Like he's directed Top Gun Maverick. He directed Tom Cruise's other Oblivion movie. Oh yeah. And he most recently directed F1 with Brad Pitt. He's done some insane movies. And that's the guy who directed Tron Legacy. So does that mean it was a Disney thing? A Disney thing to like Bob Iger or whoever was giving him too many notes. Well, I don't know. Like I personally wouldn't consider Tron Legacy a bad movie by any means. I think it just doesn't. You think it was more just an audience thing, timing? Well, audiences really like it, but it's just the critics who never seem to connect with the movie. Then I still try to connect the dots to why it was not considered a success then, because it sounds like it checked all the boxes. It does. I just don't know if it made quite. So another thing is Tron Ares, like the third Tron movie, has been in like a pre-production in the script phase, trying to get off the ground for 10 years. Oh, sorry, am I getting mixed up? Was this what you're talking about for the Ares or for Legacy? No, Legacy, which came out in 2010. Yeah, that one. The director who did. That's the director. Maverick. That's the director. He did Legacy. Okay. He did Legacy. Okay. Yeah. That's right then. Yeah. So why Disney didn't jump on making a second one or a third one, sorry, like immediately is kind of, I don't know why. Like it's very strange, I guess. Was it during the purchase of Star Wars? No, this was 2010. So this was like a few years before that. Yeah. I think it's just they couldn't seem to lock down a script at the time. And maybe it's also a box office related thing. Disney is known to have really high expectations with their box office. Like a number of animated movies over the years have not received sequels that probably could have had, like Treasure Planet, for example. We're big Treasure Planet fans here. Yeah. And would have loved to have seen a sequel, like a big that one theater release well box office wise though, but I think it had some pretty heavy competition. They did, yeah. But even movies that were very successful back in the day, like Lilo and Stitch, that never got a theater release sequel. It got one of those cheap to at home sequels. Disney was kind of doing that for a long time. Because they didn't do any sequels for a long time. And then in the 90s, they started putting out these weird straight to VHS sequels. That changed with Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 was supposed to be also delivered to home video. I didn't know that. And because Pixar was actually not, they were still doing it, right? So like it was unlike the Disney animated sequels that were third partied out to another overseas animation studio and done like at a budget and then shipped to direct to home video. Like Beauty and the Beast, right? A Sunday Brunch, everything. Like the Lilo and Stitch sequels, the Lion King sequels, the Aladdin sequels, like everything got at home Lion sequels, King, right? Where has the pride gone? And yeah, Toy Story was supposed to be like one of those many things, but this was the pre-Disney ownership of Pixar, so it was only like a weird distribution kind of thing.
And so they wanted an at-home sequel. Pixar wanted to do their own thing.
Right.
They started making this
Pixar is a 3D at the time was like pretty expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And hard to do.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why they were doing it, because they were the only ones who could do it, right?
But then if you're putting that much money into it, it's not really going to be a VHS.
That's exactly the problem that they ran into. So when they did, they were like almost done Toy Story 2, and it ran into so many problems.
So
like,
what we're saying is Toy Story is the reason that we're stuck in the sequel verse.
Yeah. So like Toy Story, Toy Story 2 specifically.
Yeah.
So that movie, it ended up being so good that they were like, okay, well, this just deserves to be in the theater. Right. And this was also after a number of other problems. Like, I'm losing half the story here to save time, but the movie was almost like deleted by mistake. There was some crazy stories with Toy Story 2.
What's with the second things in this being an issue? Because
I don't know if
the same thing happened with Halo 2.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Toy Story 2 very much? Do you remember some of the toys that were available at the time?
I remember Stinky Pete.
Do you remember seeing this chrome Buzz Lightyear toy back in the day?
Chrome Buzz Lightyear. I don't remember this.
You don't remember that?
He's more machine than man now.
Yeah, so this was actually part of the original plot in Toy Story 2, and then when it got
Evil Buzz or something.
Yeah, this was the Buzz that ends up fighting Buzz that we see in the movie. He like another Buzz Lightyear traps him in a box, and so there was a different version of those events where it was like a chrome Buzz Lightyear instead. But that wouldn't have worked for him to fit in with the rest of his friends pretending to be Buzz Lightyear, because he obviously looks different. So it was a different set of events. But I actually have a little Buzz Lightyear ship toy
with
that
a chrome Buzz.
It opens up and it's like Al's toy barn inside, and it has all these little teeny tiny like peg style action figures that kind of position themselves around Al's toy barn. And there was one that is this Buzz Lightyear,
it's
like
the chrome Buzz.
It's like a chrome Buzz. Yeah. So it got really close to being a certain way, to the point where some of the toys were already developed and ready to release, and then all of a sudden
they had to re-render so many scenes.
Oh yeah, they did. And so and it still ended up being an amazing movie. Like Toy Story 2 to this day is still one of my favorites. You're saying it was a close
call, that change from the chrome Buzz to regular Buzz as a real risk.
Yeah. But it was a lot of the plot too. But it always blows me away how that movie got pulled off in such a crazy good end result with all the problems and changes along the way. Because a lot of the time movies don't turn out well when that kind of thing happens.
That's the first time we saw Zurg too, right?
Yeah. But anyways, that's why we're stuck in this, it's like, oh, wow, sequels actually can work and they actually can make money. And so, like that's why all Disney animated shows now get sequels in the theater and not direct at home. But yeah, for Tron, I think it was the expectation. The bar was so much higher, being a live action movie and a live action budget. And nowadays, the expectations, I think, are not quite as high as they used to be for movies performing in the theater. It's like not as many people going. But yeah, it did also take a while.
I guess it's kind of gone full circle. Now it's direct to home via streaming.
Yeah, it totally has gone full circle. Yeah, but as far as Tron 3 goes, that's kind of the situation. And then the director doing Tron 3, he directed Pirates 5 and Maleficent Mistress of Evil.
All Disney.
As well as the Disney movie called Young Woman and the Sea that featured Daisy Ridley. And there's another Star Wars connection there.
Interesting. Was that Disney, that one?
Yep, all three Disney movies.
He sounds like he's a grown up inside the Disney organization director.
Yeah, definitely.
In-house.
Definitely feels that way.
Bob Iger's personal apprentice.
Here, I got a little video which I'll play here, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting, some of the stuff that he was saying about it.
With Tron, it was important to raise the bar to the next level, taking Tron into the real world. It was important for me to shoot as much as possible in camera. We shut down Vancouver for 6 weeks of nights, shooting these amazing light cycle sequences.
I love Tron. You saw this film as a kid, and there you are standing completely lit up, and you hop on the light cycle.
Military AI is the future. I would like you to meet Ares, the ultimate soldier.
So Ares, isn't the god of war, Ares? Yeah. Cool. You're Greek, that's awesome.
He's the dangerous machine. What are you? Colliding with the real world.
War is coming.
Tick-tock!
Seeing Tron progress from the original to Tron Ares is just fantastic. The program wants to live. It's just feeling fascinating.
You think you're in control of this? You're not. The scope of this film is so big. All the sets are massive.
We shot this for IMAX, and it's an incredible experience.
Hang on! You feel the grid all around you with the sound and music.
9 Inch Nails, man.
I just can't get enough.
Ready? There's no going back.
Yeah, featuring a wicked soundtrack by 9 Inch Nails. So that was kind of cool to see a rock band, brought in to do the whole soundtrack. Very much in the theme of doing Daft Punk to do a soundtrack.
It'd be nice to have Daft Punk back. But isn't this a Star Wars podcast?
It is a Star Wars podcast, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess normally this kind of thing would be reserved for Cantina banter, but I just
already worlds colliding.
Yeah, worlds colliding, but I don't know. There's some Star Wars connections there, with the Daisy Ridley thing, and also the first one being released kind of in this hype of the original trilogy.
That's a reach.
And yeah, maybe, yeah. But man, it's the kind of cinema that I feel like Star Wars goers would probably want to go see. And
fair enough.
Just wanted to encourage everyone out there to go and see it, because if we don't go and see it in the theater, they don't want to justify making any more, because that's where the big bucks are made. It's not made at home on streaming. It's in the big screens in the theater, in the IMAX. That's where the justification is made to make more. And so so goes the proof lies in the pudding. With Solo, right? Like, we've had this conversation about Solo many times. Nobody went and saw that Solo movie. It was supposed to be a trilogy, maybe even 2 or 3.
And the problem was everybody went solo, and they should have brought someone with them.
Yep, should have brought a friend.
That's where it went wrong. They misread the title.
Hey, I went and saw it. I mean, I'm not at fault for that. Yeah, If you go see it, you can't feel at fault for it, right? Because then you're like, hey, well, I mean, I gave them
your part.
I gave them my $15 or $20 or whatever, and
inflation, man.
That is what it is. Have a good time. But yeah, go and do that on a Friday night or Saturday or something like that. Go see Tron Ares.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. What else? Anything else you want to bring up or?
When's this Darth Maul show coming out?
No, it's next year.
Does it have a date on it?
Next year in, yes. Maul Shadowlord comes out on Disney Plus in 2026, and I think they were targeting May, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I feel like we definitely have talked about it before. I think it did get some kind of release date, but it's being weirdly hard to find one online at the moment. So yeah,
maybe they're being coy with it.
Next year in spring, though, is kind of the forecast, I guess.
Right.
Is like April, May kind of thing. So I think it's safe to assume that that's when it'll come out. It does surprise me that they announced it like this far in advance, because normally with the animated shows they don't do that.
Yeah, it's usually pretty short. Like once a solid trailer.
Usually it's like a month or two, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like
a little more than that, but
maybe 4 or 5. Like Bad Batch, it feels like it just came out of nowhere, and then it just like boom, it just dropped.
Clone Wars wasn't even ready.
Like Clone Wars,
they just like all of a sudden there was a movie out.
Yeah, that's well, I saw the trailer a couple months in advance, but I mean, like, as far as the Disney era goes on streaming, like Clone Wars ended with season 7, and then it was like a few months later or something or maybe it was like the same, like, was it like I don't know. I feel like there was some sort of teaser for the Bad Batch, like the same week or something that the finale dropped or something. I feel like there was something.
It was
there.
Very shortly after, I think.
Yeah, like Bad Batch season 1,
because they had just finished completing the Bad Batch episodes when they did the final season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, so it came out May 4th, 2021. Clone Wars season 7 came out in, I want to say it was 2020. Yeah, February 2020, and it ended in May. So yeah, it was like basically a year later that Bad Batch came out. But I feel like there was some sort of teaser at some point between Clone Wars and Bad Batch that was like very closer to the Clone Wars. So I guess that one was kind of teased like way in advance, I guess. Maybe they wanted to catch all the Clone Wars fans, before they
makes sense,
lost hope.
Because the final season of Clone Wars was on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, well, that's where it launched. You still can't buy a Blu-ray for it.
Disney.
I know. I'm still like,
because you have every other one, right?
yeah, they're like right over there. Like I'm still waiting for.
VHS.
We've gone over this. I'm still anxiously waiting for
The box set.
Andor season 2.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Book of Boba Fett.
Well, it's pretty new.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
And the Acolyte.
I think they wait and do a big push.
Yeah, maybe.
They do them all at once.
I mean, do it for this
Book
Christmas.
of Boba Fett is overdue. I do wonder.
Book
if
of Boba is way overdue, man. Like they already put out season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I do want. Man,
I'm still waiting for it.
I feel like that one's getting a lot of the stuff run is getting shelved, which is annoying because I do want to see what happens.
Yeah, and like okay, at the very least, I
do
want
to own it.
I do want to own it. I want to own these 4K copies. You know, like
well, some of the old ones aren't 4K. You got to rebuy those.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, those are 4K upscales, so I'm like, whatever. Don't really care as much about 4K upscales. But like, it's it's nice. Like when these streaming services get released on disc like this, like it's a rarity. You know, especially seeing as like think about it this way.
They
like
did some Marvel stuff and then this. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, and like for anyone at home who's just like, okay, what's the big deal? Like, you know, if you find like, let's say like, you know, if you came across digital copies, you know, like on the internet, and they're like taken from someone's Disney account, if you know what I mean. Like it's not the same quality as like, you know, the master files being published on a 80 gigabyte disc, you know, like it's really not the same. It's not the same quality. It's not the same audio channel. It's not the same video bit rate. It's like nothing's the same. And like you get, it's the best, most, it's the largest like data version that you can have at home is these versions, you know, being released on disc. And if there is no disc for these to be released
you have to
on,
deal with the compression,
yeah, like people always, and I think this is a big deal within Star Wars in general, because people always say to me, like, I wish that the original Star Wars movie that was released in 1977 was released, right?
Yeah.
People want that because they want the highest quality possible for that copy of the movie, but there's no version of that.
Laserdisc is the closest you'll get, yeah.
Yeah, Laserdisc is the closest you'll get, but then it's just like you're getting a digital copy.
Versions out there people have made. They pull every scene from the highest resolution they can get.
Right.
So then you're jumping between like the Blu-ray version and like the special editions.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
You're jumping to the laser disc, and then
but then here's the other thing is like you're getting, even if somebody had the hardware to scan their laser disc copy, which by the way, any kind of physical copy in general degrades over time, and so like you're getting a degraded laser disc copy of this original film, and laser disc is not exactly cutting edge technology, so you're already getting.
I feel like it would last longer than cassette tape.
Yeah, and cassette tape's already like so crappy, man. Like I mean like the film.
Don't diss my analog technology.
Film quality. Okay, and I don't know why people think records sound so great. Like it's not even that.
A lot of people.
I know I'm ticking off a lot of people, but like it's just plastic that's vibrating up a needle. Like it's literally that's how it works. Like, you know, when you get like FLAC level digital files or like a CD even, it's like way better quality than you would otherwise, right? And I feel like that's the pinnacle of that technology. But when it comes to movies at home, 4K Blu-ray, and especially things that are filmed for that, you know, for that format, trumps every previous version of hardware possible. And so we're lucky that, you know, some of these film companies do go back and upscale things, you know, or even do full like re-scanning of original film and then putting that through the edit again. And, you know, very rarely does that happen. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's an important thing to be able to own like the highest quality format of something on disc that you can. And with streaming services, it opens up this avenue of like not being able to do that and then perpetually never being able to watch that thing that you love very much in the best quality.
Imagine if there's like a solar flare or something and then everything digital is just shot.
Yeah, and like, you know, a laser disc doesn't exactly have 80 gigs of storage on them. Like that thing is like, you know, it's like a floppy disk. Like we're talking very little storage, which means that the movie had to have been compressed down, and then you're losing a ton of like audio and video.
But it was higher quality than VHS, I think.
Yeah, like, well, maybe. Yeah, I guess so, seeing as it was like a form of digital, I guess. But
yeah, it was very early digital.
Yeah, but still, it's still being compressed down to like even a modern CD doesn't have more than 4 gigs on it.
Right.
These movie theater versions of movies that you watch in the theater right now, like if you went and saw Tron Ares right now, you're watching an 800 gigabyte digital file in their system. Like that's how big
that's the uncompressed file.
That's the movie theaters.
I didn't know they were that big.
Yeah. So like when you own a movie at home.
So is that what Disney has that you're streaming?
No. What you're streaming is basically pennies on the dollar, like money optimized formats.
Yeah.
We're talking YouTube level compression.
YouTube's in 4K now.
Yeah. Whatever. Like YouTube 4K is not the same as like Blu-ray 4K, right? And so, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, man, it's very important because like, can you imagine in 20 years, like people complained for a while, like, oh, we can't find the holiday special. Like it's because the only reason you can find it is bootleg copies that people took.
Right.
But can you imagine if it was like officially released? Like it would actually not look so blurry and like, well, it'd look better. It would still look like not great, but it would look way better than the copies that you can find on YouTube, And it's just important to preserve that history.
No, I think so too. Needs to be an archive of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't George making a museum for this exact reason?
He's making a museum of modern art and pop culture things but when it comes to movies being distributed and things especially around the Star Wars IP and everything like that, I think there's this real like rabbit hole for like streaming services to kind of suck a lot of that away to we're never going to be able to consume this in the best highest quality format, right?
It's also always just that concern too of like it being locked away like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like you remember the old Disney Vault?
Yeah,
now
Disney Vault,
they've got a real Disney Vault where like if you're not paying your entrance fee to get into that vault, you don't get access to it at all.
Right.
You can't have your copy at home.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, it just makes me feel like when you own that movie,
They've changed into an amusement park. Got to pay your access ticket every month.
Right. Taking like a 600 to 800 gigabyte file and like going down to like 80 gigs, 4K, 80 gigs at home.
Right.
That's something special. Like if you got the DVD, that's down to like 8 gigs. So that's like even super compressed. And that's even better than Laserdisc, which is probably even less.
Yeah,
so even
sure.
like Laserdisc copy is like, no way. Like, I mean, like, sure, it's close enough to like watching what the original was like, but it's not nearly the quality that you want to expect from an at-home version.
The original reels from the original films, original trilogy, does George still have those, or did he give those to Disney as part of the sale?
I think I read a piece of news recently that they were inducted into the library of something of like, I think it's like the Library of Congress has like a movie archiving area where they take film reels or original like master edits and they like preserve them. And
this feels like a Library of Alexandria situation. Something goes wrong and you just lose everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those.
George already buy like an abandoned salt mine and like he kept
a
bunch of stuff down there.
I have no idea.
So that they wouldn't age because there's no moisture.
No idea.
I've always heard that. I don't know if it's true.
That's like how like Walt Disney's body is like buried beneath the haunted mansion. Like I feel like it's one of those.
He's clearly cryo-frozen, Josh, so they can bring him back. The technology's there.
Yeah, people will be saying the same thing about George Lucas one day.
Did you know that Bob Iger's actually a clone of Walt Disney from his DNA?
I heard.
That's why he's been in power for so long.
We're gonna have Bob Iger as CEO for the next 60 years, people.
Yeah, because as he ages out, they just bring up a new clone of Bob Iger.
Oh man,
they just train each other.
That's good. That's a good laugh. All right, well we should probably wrap things up here. Yeah, thanks for coming back on as always. Great having another Star Wars chat with you.
This party's over.
Yeah, there we go. We heard the whole thing.
It's always fun, man.
Always a good time. And I guess if there's anything in the next month that we're looking forward to, it's getting together and watching some Star Wars Visions Volume 3. I would say it's coming up quick. Also, our 400th episode of the podcast is coming out.
Dang. Okay.
And that should be towards the end of November. And Darian is actually going to be hosting a bit of a game for us here on the podcast, and we're going to be
confirmed
having some friends of ours join us for that. So we're going to have a bit of a very sort of mini event, I guess. And I guess news of how we're going to prepare for this game will be released on the next episode or two of the podcast. And it's going to be a good time. And hopefully, hopefully people enjoy the show. And we're looking forward to the 400th celebration episode. And so just wanted to hype that up. So, stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for any news in the next 4 or 5 episodes that kind of come out before that episode comes out.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. But yeah.
Cool.
All right. That's everything.
Well, I'll see you out there.
I'll see you out there as well.
Keep flying.
That smells stinkerway.
All right. Big thank you to our audience for coming on. As always, a huge thank you to our lovely co-host. And we do appreciate those 5 stars from all of you guys at home, listening on your car radio or your phone or your watch. I mean, there's so many things that you can access this podcast through, so many platforms across the galaxy. We always love to hear that great feedback, and we just do this for our love for Star Wars. We're ad free and unmonetized and all that jazz, and you already know that. So those reviews definitely help us keep going, helps other people find the show, and stay tuned for episode number 400. We will see you in the next episode of Star Wars Escape Pod. Go and check out those links below.